Hey guys, this is AB and welcome back to AB Tech Tips. I'll be honest with you guys, I have not had the most excellent of ideas for content recently, so the channel has gotten a little bit dried up over the past couple of weeks. To be honest, I do have my tests coming up, so that might be a small factor, though I'm not an ideal student who studies each and every opportunity that he gets. Anyways, let's not get into my life story and let's get into this video without any more delay. So, what we're talking about in this video is all the new tech that is about to be released. There has been a lot of talk about the GTX 1650 Ti, the Ryzen 3500 or the Ryzen 3500X. I'm not so sure about the naming scheme that AMD is going to go with. New HEDP processors and the Threadripper series. I'm not sure how I'll be able to cover it all. Obviously, I do not have access to them and I don't expect to be able to get access to them. So don't expect a review on any of these items anyway. So if any rich dude is looking to build PC or a high-end PC soon for a written rendering or graphic design, etc., just hit me up. Or anyone looking to build a PC under any budget, do get in touch with me guys. I'll build a PC for you guys for free and also feature it on my channel. It would help me out a lot. I would be forever grateful for you guys for giving me that particular opportunity. Anyways, you guys only have to handle the price for the components, and if you are resided in the Bangalore region, I shall personally ship it over to you guys for free. And a quick point of clarification, I will be getting into all the components and I will buy all the components from legitimate sources like Prime ABGB and MD Computers. You could go the offline route if you want to save that extra 1000 or 2000 bucks. That's completely up to you guys. But the offline sites, the offline stores will usually not be able to beat these sites, especially in terms of service and return policy. Anyway, I will be dropping my contact info down below in the description, so if you have any requests for PC builds or even want to suggest any ideas for future topics that you want me to cover, just don't hesitate, just put in a mail. I will look into it and create content if it is legitimate. Without any further ado, let's get into the topic of discussion today. Before we start, I would just like to ask Intel.
How you doing?
Not so good, obviously. Not sure when Intel will be able to get back on track and offer better value for their products, if at all. Anyway, the other word that just can't be ignored when talking about Intel is AMD. The only thing that is not going for them is not having enough stocks. TSMC has not been able to meet the demand for the CPUs based on the 7nm process node. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that perhaps even AMD did not expect such high demand for the third generation of Ryzen chips. It is greatly possible that because of this lapse in the capacity of manufacturing, the future plans for AMD may be delayed, like the Ryzen 4000 series of processors based on the Zen 3 architecture, on the 7nm plus process, and even the next generation of GPUs from AMD based on the RDNA 2 architecture, which will hopefully have native support for ray tracing. But honestly, I don't think that should affect your decision to get a GPU anyways, because ray tracing still needs a good 3, 5 or even more number of years to push out acceptable frames in games that have ray tracing features in them. Other than that, AMD has been on fire lately. They are looking to get into all price brackets and lock onto Intel's mystery for good. They are looking at releasing the R5 3500 or the R5 3500X to compete with the 9400F from Intel and offer a great value at the budget that it is expected to be targeting. I really think they should just release 3500 instead of the X variant so buyers can buy a good third-party cooler for the same cumulative sum. It will be capable of giving out slightly better performance over the stock cooler that ships with the 3500X, just like the 3600X. I just wish with the 3600X we got the Wraith Prism cooler that ships with the 3700X and the 3800X. I mean, they are charging a premium, so why not just go all out, right? Anyways, the stock cooler that does come with the 3600X does offer much greater performance, much greater cooling compared to any of the stock coolers that Intel ships with its processors. In my opinion, Intel should just ditch their stock coolers and then ship only the chip, and perhaps reduce the prices to stay competitive and even stay afloat in this extremely saturated and competitive processor market of today. But I would give Intel some credit though, because what AMD is doing in the 7 nanometer process node, Intel is almost as good when it's just on a 14 nanometer plus manufacturing process node. So perhaps the Intel's 10 nanometer chip will offer better performance, and it will be neck to neck with AMD's counterpart at the time of launch. AMD will have to buckle up. Hopefully Team Red also does good. I just hope that neither of the companies gets too full of themselves and start overpricing their components or anything as such. Anyway, speaking of the 3500 or the 3500X, it is rumored to be a 6-core, 6-thread, somewhat budget oriented CPU which will be able to give you great gaming performance for the price at which it comes. It will be a great start for a decent gaming rig, and according to the league benchmark scores, it should be able to handle video editing too, especially better than the 9400F. And if you are just building your first PC and want to start getting into gaming as well as editing, you're a small time YouTuber, this would be a great option for you guys. Anyways, in simple words, things are looking great if you want to build a PC right now. Moving on, talking about the next round of GPUs, the budget GPUs that might be launched in the next month or so. The rumors of there being the whole GTX 1650 Ti and a potential GTX 1660 Super. Like what? What is the necessity of making things so very darn confusing? There is a 1660 Ti and the 1660, and the performance gap between these two GPUs is at most 10 to 15 frames. I would understand there being a need for the 1650 Ti because the price, the performance difference between the 1650 and the 1660 is pretty noticeable. But the 1660 and 1660 Ti, I don't think there is a necessity for another segmentation, but it seems like that is what we'll be getting. I just wish we saw the same amount of saturation that we see in between 10 to 20k at higher price brackets, say 30 to 50k. Give more option to the consumers so they can choose better components for whatever it is that their budget is and whatever it is that their focus is going to be on. But hey, that is neither here nor there. It will be interesting to see how all this segmentation turns out, especially after AMD releases its budget segment of graphics card in the RX 600 series of GPUs or even the RX 5600 series of cards. So let's see how this all goes. Hopefully it just means more options for the consumer, more competition and reduced prices. I just hope that the budget cards from AMD are not going to be overpriced because of lack of stocks, just like what's happening with the RX 5700 series of cards in India. Anyways, lastly, let's look at the HEDP processor that AMD just announced. That is their Threadripper series of processor. Not a lot of people in India will be looking at these processors, and if they are, I really don't think they would be looking at them through my channel, someone who doesn't even have a Ryzen processor yet. Yes, I will be building one soon, but that is going to be epic, so just hold on to it. if you are looking at such a high-end PC, you guys are better off looking at videos of Hardware Unboxed, Paul's Hardware, or Turbo, or Steve from Gamers Nexus, or any of the better Western reviewers. But for some reason, if you have ended up on this channel that has about 30 subs or so, then thanks for sticking around, man. I hope you let me build your PC. I will do a good job, I promise you guys. Anyways, talking about the Threadripper 3 series of processors based on the Zen 2 architecture or the 7nm manufacturing process, then you should be excited, guys. It would be bringing a bucket load of new and improved features to the table when they do release in November. I believe that if I were you, I would recommend that you hold out on buying the 2900 series of Threadripper processors, because the upcoming Threadripper processors are just going to be a much better value if we go by what AMD has done, from jumping from the Zen Plus to the Zen 2 architecture, increasing their cache, improving the manner in which the Infinity Fabric works, etc. It will be able to handle anything from editing to rendering to gaming. This will be the best that a crap load of money can buy until the next year, of course. But if you are looking at solely gaming, these processors are going to be way overkill. Even if you have a 3080 Ti from the future, it would really not be able to justify the price point that these are going to be entering in at. So do your research before spending cash on even the 3950X, because you would be able to get through most tasks that you throw at it, even with the 3700X or the 3900X. So unless you know your specific needs and you're sure that the Threadripper is what you have to go for, choose wisely. And I know that a lot of feature sets of the Threadripper 3 series have been leaked out, but I do not want to talk about these until they are officially released by AMD. There's no particular reason, but I would just like to be sure. I do not want to backtrack and say that you should take it with a grain of salt or any of the familiar terms that you're used to hearing so far. I don't know about the motherboards that are going to be coming up with the Threadripper 3 series of processors, so do keep that in mind. And speaking of, I have no news of the B550 motherboard. I'm not sure when it's going to be released, if it is going to be released, because I too am hoping for a good B550 motherboard that I can snack off of. I'm looking to build a PC of my own, but that just seems to keep getting thrown out of the window with the prices of products all over the place. With the RX 5700 XT cards, the gigabyte model priced at 45 to 47k, which is just absurd. I would just rather go for a Galax 2070 Super instead. Anyways, that is something that you guys will have to hold out for. A PC build will be on this channel hopefully soon, and if you want it to be sooner, do get in touch with me. I will build your PC, guys. Anyways, if you like the content, please do hit that subscribe button and like and share it with your friends. It would really help this small little YouTuber a lot. Thank you guys, have a great life and enjoy.